हेलो, सत श्री अकाल, नमस्ते, आदाब। दोस्तों, मैं हूँ Sharon Ali and you're watching Honeywalia Shows। आज की सेगमेंट में Through the Eyes of a Woman, एक औरत की आंखों से, we have with us Shama Butt। Shama was raised in Edmonton, is married, and has 4 beautiful children। Welcome, Shama, to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So, Shama, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are some of your hobbies, interests? What's on your bucket list?
My hobbies are too many to list, but still some of them would be singing, painting, traveling, trying different new things that I haven't so far. Bucket list, again, would be same as visiting lots of places in the world. I want to explore the things that I didn't have the chance to explore so far. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
So as far as your hobbies and interests, have you tried anything that you thought you could do but was unfortunately unsuccessful, or?
My singing, I guess. I always wanted to sing, and for the past 5 years we've been running an association, a society, which was on my part, I think it was very satisfying that I was able to do that. And then I had the privilege of meeting lots of big names in the industry, learn a lot of things from them, and so that's something that I think I did that I'm proud of.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. And you're continuing that right now, or is that?
Well, because of COVID right now, everything is on a halt. Yeah, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it will start again soon, and yeah, we'll be back up there.
Singing is another passion of mine too, so it's I can understand how you feel about that passion. That's for sure. So, have you worked for different companies, or you said you owned a few companies? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've obviously worked with lots of people over the years, but I did own a beauty parlor in Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah, I ran that for about 2 years, and it was a very successful business, but unfortunately I had to come back to Canada, so I had to let that go. In Canada, I've been running a janitorial company since 2005.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something I've been ongoing in.
You're currently with that janitorial company right now?
I'm still running it. Yeah.
Nice, that's good. So you were born in Edmonton.
Yes.
So you just said that you had the salon back in Pakistan.
Yeah, I just went there for a visit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I fell in love with Pakistan, and I took all my kids and my ex-husband with me.
Oh, okay.
And but I thought this was something that was my calling, and I had to do, and I did. But unfortunately, my kids didn't really like Pakistan, and they said, let's go back, Mom. And so I had to let everything go and come back. And
well, they were born and raised here, right?
Yeah, so it's a very big culture shock.
Big culture difference for them. Anyway, how long were you in Pakistan?
I was there for 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
And you had your beauty salon for 2 years, and
2 years.
Just decided that gotta listen to the kids and come back to Canada.
Kids first.
yeah, always, right? As soon as we have our children, they come first, that's for sure. Is there anything in life that you regret that you could take back, or a bad experience, or?
I think having a life that's full of regrets is actually a good life.
Okay.
That means you've done a lot in your life, that you've been to so many things, you've been through so many things and all that. And regrets are part of life and growing up. And so, like everybody else, I do have mine. Unfortunately, you can't go back in time and fix them, but you do learn and you grow and you move on. And I have a lot.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well, we have enough time, so let us know a few of your regrets. Whatever you'd like to share with our viewers.
First regret would be getting married at a young age. I was 17 when I got married.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's a big regret. I think everybody should mentally and they should be ready to get married. I wasn't ready to be married at 17.
So was this an arranged marriage, or was this?
No, this was because my house, my parents' house was very toxic environment.
Oh, okay.
There was continuous fighting. There was very negative vibes in my house, and my dad was abusive. Oh. And so to get away from that, get away from that whole negativity, I was like, I have to get out of here.
Oh, so it was your way out.
So yeah, and at that point I was a 17-year-old, and I was touching 400 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Because of depression, I would just eat, and then I would get yelled at for eating, which was, it was a vicious circle. So to get away from that, I got married when I was 17, and I was not ready. At that time, I thought, this is what I got to do.
At such a young age.
But no, that was a mistake. That was a regret.
That was a
yeah. So that's one of them. And then the person I did get married to turned out to be even more abusive than my dad.
Oh no.
And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, and then I moved to England for 2 years and had my first son there. And I was all alone, didn't have any family or anything.
Your husband didn't go with you to England, or you?
No, he was already in England. I moved to England with him.
Okay.
But I didn't have any of my family there or any of his family or anything. So I was a 17-year-old having a baby all alone in England where it's just continuous rain.
Yeah.
So it was depression. It was a mix of lots of depression going on with me right now at that time. So so that's my first regret of getting married at a young age when I was not ready. I was not I had to put up with that marriage because I was not financially stable myself, and I couldn't leave when I knew that this is my time to leave. I can't stay in this relationship anymore, but I had to because I was not financially stable.
So when you say you got married at 17, you said that it wasn't arranged.
No.
So it was a love marriage type thing.
I met him on the internet.
Okay, so were your parents not, or did not disagree with you getting married so young?
They did.
So it's completely your choice.
Yeah, my mom's like, no, please don't.
Okay.
My dad's like, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
You know, and all that. But I was like, you guys don't know what this house is doing for me, and I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I told them that either you get me married or I'm just gonna go run away and get married.
Oh.
So they thought, okay, you know what, let's do what she says. Before she takes a step that we're gonna regret.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I was the one who ended up regretting that.
Oh, that's too bad. You never know, right? You hope that out there it's better for you, the grass is greener, but unfortunately sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, you always look forward to having happier and good moments, but it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah, and you said that he was abusive too.
Very abusive, yeah.
It's unfortunately I've read about abuse and within families, domestic violence, and it's unfortunate because people that go through that, eventually, like the children, end up being in relationships like that too. And it's just something, I don't know what it is, if it attracts them or what it is, but I've read that the children eventually go, I guess maybe they think it's, not that you knew that he would be like that, but it's just something that, like they follow suit. I don't know why in most cases, so I don't know how true that is, but well, that's so unfortunate.
But abuse was just one of the things that I had to go through. Then it was a whole circle of lies, and once I got married to him, I was told that he was 10 years older than me, which turned out to be a lie. He was 22 years older than me. So
22 years older than you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But at that point I had my second son as well when I found out, and so again I had to live with that because I couldn't financially take care of myself, which is another big regret of mine.
Right.
That I had to stay in such a toxic relationship just because I thought there's nothing better out there for me.
Did you ever think of moving back home to Pakistan or going back to Pakistan?
That's
oh no, you were here.
I was here
when that happened. Yeah. Did you ever think of maybe going back home to Edmonton, back to your parents?
That's what I did then. Yeah, eventually. I was like, I can't do this here anymore. I'm too alone. I can't take care of 2 babies at one time because they were only 11 months apart.
Wow.
So I was like, I need my mom. So I eventually came here to visit, but once I was here I was like, you know what, I can't come back, I'm gonna stay here, so it's your choice. If you want to come, you can come. If not, that's fine. And so he left everything in England and he decided to move here with us.
Oh, so he did end up moving here?
Yeah, so he moved here.
How did you find out that he was 22 years older than you? Did you finally?
It was a funny thing. We were actually celebrating his birthday, and we were planning to go to Pakistan to celebrate because it was Eid and everything. So I was looking through his passport, and his birth date was different.
Oh, okay.
And I asked him, and he's like, "Oh, it was an error. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
They made a different." And that happened to my mom as well. She has a different month.
Yeah.
Because of the birth date and everything. So I was like, "Oh yeah, that happens. That's fine. That's okay." And then I talked to his mom, and I was like, "Hey, congratulations, your son is ta-da day old."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" She's like, "No, my son is actually this old." And I'm like, "No."
Oh,
and she's like, "Yeah, go check his papers. This is his birth date." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's what it says." She's like, "Yeah, that's his real birth date." And I was like,
So his mom told you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the sad part is then when I did confront him and he did agree that, yes, I am this old, everybody told me, you know what, you have 2 kids with him and you are having a happy life. Age shouldn't matter. It's a number and blah, blah, blah. And they gave me that kind of, and I was like, okay. But then everything started to make sense to me, how we are so mentally different, how he's in a whole different level of thinking than I am.
Well, it's like a different decade, or 2 decades, so maybe, for that matter.
It started to make sense to me.
Yeah. So he never helped out with the kids or anything?
No, he was actually very helpful with the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was actually a better mom than I am, I guess.
Oh.
But the thing was that he was, again, very temperamental.
Okay.
And he would get really angry really fast.
Oh, okay.
And and then the abuse started to happen with my kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a big no-no.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's bad enough if it happens to us as women, which it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the kids, you gotta really make a change.
No, he wasn't all bad. He was a very good father when he wanted to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and my kids had all the toys in the world and nice clothes. I had a nice big house. And actually, I started the janitorial company with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started it together. So
the one you still have?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when it came to financially and otherwise, he was a very good dad. But when it came to actually, being a dad, like taking care of emotions and all that, then he kind of, he couldn't handle his anger.
So it's temperament was a problem. Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, so.
Aside from that, he was okay, I guess. So you moved back to Edmonton then, you stayed with your parents and decided you didn't want to go back?
Yeah, I stayed with my dad and my mom, and I started living in their basement. And then I was like, okay, we have 2 kids and we need to find a place. And then we started to hop from basements to basement. In 1 year, we had 5 basements that we lived in because everybody would either don't like the babies crying at night, or they would have a problem with, we need to sell the house, the market's going up or down or something like that. So they'd have an excuse. And so I got really tired of it, and I was like, you know what, it's time to buy our own house. And then we bought our first house, and in that first house, then I had my twins.
Okay, twins. So 2 boys and
3 boys, 1 girl.
3 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had a set of twins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy and girl are twins.
Amazing. Okay. And then things just got worse from there? Or?
Yes, things got worse and worse. His anger got out of control, and then he started to, doubt me and my loyalty towards him as well. Because I was going through the journey of weight loss surgery.
Okay.
And so I started to go on diets and all that. And every time I would lose weight, he would get mad at me.
Of course.
Because he liked the feeling of me relying on him for everything. And as soon as he found out that, she's getting independent, she can do things on her own, he would get mad at me.
Right.
And then he would make the scenario so that I'd get depressed and I'd eat and I'd gain it all back, and then he'd be happy.
So it's kind of like mental abuse as well.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry you had to go through all that.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough, especially starting at 17 years old, eh?
Yep.
And at home.
Yeah,
wow.
So at one time I felt like I was running a daycare with 4 little kids.
Oh, I can't
all in diaper, had their bottles and everything, and I was just going crazy.
Oh. Yeah. Did he help with the twins as well, or did he kind of stop?
He, running the janitorial company, he would go work at night. So at nighttime, I'd have the kids to myself.
Okay.
During the day, when he would come back, he'd be too tired to take care of the kids. Then I'd ask my sister or my mom to come and help around. But for me, it was enough that he was financially
stable,
paying the bills. He was paying the mortgage. He was, there was food at home. So for me, that was good enough. And he didn't really have to. But every time he spent more than 10 minutes with the kids and they'd cry or whatever, he'd get mad. He'd start throwing things around. Yeah, so I was like, you know what, don't take care of the kids. I'll do that. You just bring in the money. Go to sleep.
So what made you finally decide to leave him? You just had enough, or?
After 15 years of being married to him.
That's a long time.
Yeah. After 15 years of being married to him, having 4 kids together, he decided that he didn't love me anymore, and he cheated on me.
Oh my God, can this get any worse? Oh my God, you poor thing. Oh no.
I could tolerate abuse. I could tolerate his anger. I could tolerate not having money. I could tolerate anything. But when he cheated on me, that was my last line. I was like, no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, you'd been through enough. I could see how that could be your last straw.
Yeah.
So then you just, like, how did you told him one day, I've had enough, I'm leaving?
No, I found out that he was cheating on me, and I made sure that I was right about it. I wasn't just accusing him of it. And I met the woman that
You met the woman?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she called me and she said, we're in love and you're in our way, so please can you leave? And I was like, and she called my kids a circus, which really hurt. She's like, you're running a circus and he doesn't want to be a part of it. And I was like, well, he helped make this circus.
He is a part of it.
So I was like,
oh, jeez.
Okay. So I was like, how do I know you're telling the truth?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, meet me and I'll tell you. And I did go and meet her at Tim Hortons, and she showed me pictures of them being together and going on dates and all that stuff, and so much so, very intimate stuff as well. So once I had all that, I've seen all that, then I said, no, then it's good. I've seen enough. And I confronted him that night that, what's going on and all that. And unfortunately, he kept saying, it's done, I'm over, it was a mistake, it won't happen again, blah, 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 please forgive me, and all, that the forgiveness part had been going on for 15 years. He would beat me up and he would say, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again. And I kept forgiving him, and I kept, that was the biggest mistake. Another one of my regrets is forgiving somebody who has this repetitive habit of hitting.
Yeah.
Once he raises his hand on you, you should know that this is time to leave. Once is enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at that time, I was like, no, that's okay. He asked for forgiveness. He'll change. They don't change.
I think that's what a lot of women hope, is that eventually that they'll change, that they'll,
They won't change.
But
they will be in the relationship to change you.
Yeah.
But they won't change.
But they won't change.
No. So I told him, and unfortunately the day I did confront him, I fell to the ground. I couldn't feed my legs. I lost my feelings in my legs, and had to be rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. And I found out that I was diagnosed with GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, which means, because I had my weight loss surgery. Okay, yeah. And because of that, my immune system was attacking my nerves. So I had lost my legs, and through that process I found out that I had spine cancer.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
So
as if you haven't been through enough.
Yeah. So now that was put on the back burner, that he's cheating on me and all that, and this became reality for me, that I have cancer. And cancer is a very scary thing. It's a very scary name. It's on its own.
Absolutely.
So I spent 7 months in the hospital with no legs. I couldn't feel my legs. With no family, because my family was in Pakistan at the time. It was my sister's wedding and they were all happy there, and I didn't tell them what was going on here. And so 7 months I stayed without. My daughter came to visit me and she saw there was like tubes coming out of everywhere, and she started to cry, and she was only 4 at the time. And so I told her, I told my husband with sign language, I was like, please don't bring her here. So I spent 7 months without seeing my kids in the hospital, and ongoing, my thoughts in my head are, he's probably with her right now.
My God. Yeah. I can't imagine what you were going through. Yeah. I can't imagine. I can't even put myself there to imagine how you felt.
So that bucket list you talk about is what I actually worked on in the hospital. That if I do get to leave this hospital room, if I do get back to normal, these are the things that I have to do. And I made a bucket list in the hospital. So I'm still working on that list.
Good for you. Good for you. I mean, going through all this pain and all this disappointment and just, my goodness, and your attitude is still, not that it shouldn't be, but you're still vibrant. You still have a great attitude. You can smile about it. That's great. It shows that you're a really strong woman, strong and courageous woman.
You have to be.
And I guess you learned how to be strong too, going through all that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And then you got cancer. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you said, what kind of cancer was it?
Spine cancer.
Spine cancer.
Yeah.
So now you're cancer free.
I'm cancer-free
into
at
that.
the moment, yes.
So how long were you in the hospital for that then? Was it
7 months.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was 7 months for the cancer,
Okay,
for the
okay.
treatment and all that, and for the physiotherapy that I had to go through for my legs to gain back the muscles and how to walk again. I basically had to learn how to walk again. They would put me like in a stroller type thing, like a baby, and they would, say 1 foot in front of the other. And while I was doing that, I'd just keep crying. But I know how to do this. Why can't I do it?
It's so hard having to go through, learn everything again like a baby. You know, it's God. I just.
And it was at the point where it was starting to get in my fingers too, and I couldn't hold the spoon to eat, so they had to strap the spoon to my hand, and I would just. It was just a horrible.
So you were still with your husband at that point?
Yes.
Did he come and help you out? Was he there for you?
He was taking care of the kids while I was in the hospital because they were very little at the time, and he was also working. So he'd have, but continuous thoughts in my mind are, I'm not with my kids. They need me, and he's probably with his girlfriend. Those were what's running.
And you went through this all by yourself?
Yeah.
You had no family around?
And I would just sit and think of different scenarios that, once I get out of here, do I leave him? Once I get out of here, would I be able to take care of myself to be able to leave him? So, I would think of all the negatives and the positives and just go crazy just in that little cube of my room. So it was a horrible time.
And you went through this all by yourself again, hey? My goodness. Wow.
And through all the 7 months, my dad was here in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I would just wait for him to come visit me. But 7 months went by and he didn't come.
He didn't visit you? Why? No. And he knew you were in the hospital?
Yeah. All my friends, everybody, they came and visited me. They cried in front of me. Like, they would come see me and because my legs were basically bones. There was no muscles left at all.
Oh, okay.
So there was just 2 bones.
Oh, okay.
So me being very bubbly and jolly and being in the community and all that, everybody knew me. So everybody who'd come and see me, they would start crying. And I would just look at them and be like, have you seen my dad? Is he coming? And they would just start crying. But he didn't come.
So your parent or your mom was in Pakistan then?
Yeah, they went for my sister's wedding, but because they didn't have proper papers, there was certain things that were being switched around for NICOP cards and all that, and she didn't have that. So she had to wait for that to come through, and she was equally in pain in Pakistan because she couldn't be with me.
So was there a reason that you know of that your dad didn't come and visit you, or was he just...
He's just that kind, and plus with me, he's not very, very attached.
Oh, okay.
Ever since I can remember.
You guys didn't have that relationship?
No father-daughter thing at all. He's never hugged me. He's never, you know how parents are. They see parents, they put their hand and give blessing.
Yes, yeah. He's never done that?
No, nothing.
And that's just from the beginning?
From the
and it's just, there's no rhyme or reason for that? He's just
I can't think of any.
How is he with the other children?
He's the same. But with me, there was an abusive relationship as well with my dad.
Okay.
He'd slap, he'd punch, he'd kick, he'd pull my hair and all that. But with my other siblings, he didn't.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
My goodness.
Yeah, so I was a lucky one.
Wow, have you ever been through so much through your life? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. I'm so sorry to hear everything you've been through.
Thanks.
Wow. So after all that pain and suffering you went through and complications, and my goodness, Shama, you're just an amazing person to go through all that and just to sit there and be, smile and talk about it. That's great. That's great. It means you've gotten everything out and, you can speak about it. But after all that, you married your best friend.
I did.
You did. So tell us about that. How did you meet him? Where did you meet him?
After I got divorced with my husband, he's in Pakistan, and I have nothing to do with him. He wants nothing to do with the kids. He got remarried, and he moved on with his life.
Okay, so he moved back to Pakistan after you left him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was already in Pakistan when I gave him a divorce.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a whole different story itself. It wasn't as easy as I'm making it sound, but yeah, I left him. We got a divorce. He wanted nothing to do with the kids. I took the kids and I brought them back to Canada. I put them in school. Life started to get back to normal. I started to work. I was living with my parents because I needed to be financially stable enough to move out on my own and take care. But for the time being, I needed my parents' help, and they were so sweet to take me in. And I started living in the basement, and I was working in a company as an office assistant at the time.
Okay.
And till today, my legs are not strong enough for me to walk for a long time.
Oh, okay.
So they start to hurt, shake, and all that. So
Okay.
I usually want to just do something that's sitting down.
Right.
But the job required me to walk around and all that. So one night I was coming back to how I married my best friend. One night I was looking through my Facebook, and I get this message from Sardar, you know, with Dadi, and he messaged. He posted a comment on my picture. He says, Shama ji, you're very innocent. You have a very innocent face."
Oh.
And I was like, I know this guy, because then I remembered that he played tabla with me.
Okay.
When I sang in one of my bucket list was, when I get better and I get out of the hospital, I'm gonna have my own concert.
Okay.
Regardless of I know how to sing or not.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm gonna have my concert. And I did, and he played tabla with me.
So where did you have your own concert, or were you part of someone else's?
I had my own concert with a very good friend of mine, Athar Shahzad. He sang with me as well.
Okay.
And it was a very good concert. Whatever I knew how to sing, he would also correct me, you know, sing this way, sing that way a little bit.
Yeah.
But he played tabla with me, and that's how I knew him. I was like, I know this guy. He plays tabla with me.
Okay.
And so music for me was a very big thing from the get-go. My dad used to play tabla a little bit, and my mom sang, and you know, there was always a musical touch in my life. So and then I replied to him. I was like, "Oh, thank you for your comment." And he's like, "This is my phone number. Please call me sometimes." And I was like,
"Oh, wow."
I was like, "Why would I call you?" and then at the time he said, "You know, we started this musical society, Sangeet Bathak, that you should be coming to.
Okay.
You should come, and you know, you like music and you have a good voice. You should come and visit." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll see."
I'm kind of thinking it was love at first sight.
And then he asked me about my ex-husband, because he knew him.
Oh,
right, from the concert.
What are
and
the
all
odds of that? Okay.
From the concerts that I had, and he played tabla. I was with my ex-husband at the time.
Oh,
right?
okay. All right.
So he's like, "So how's he doing?" And I was like, "Well, I'll let you. You know, I'll tell you when we meet."
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything more than that.
Right.
And I was like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'll tell you when we meet." I was like, "Okay." So I went one day.
So he was married too?
He was married, but he was also in the process of divorce.
Okay.
So we met for coffee one day, and we just started talking, and I told him, you know, my husband's history, I'm divorced. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going through the same thing." And I was like, "I didn't even know you were married." I was like, "You're married?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was married for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
I have 2 kids, and but life wasn't going the way I wanted to have my life go," because he's very into music, and his ex-wife wasn't. And there were lots of more things that you know, they didn't see eye to eye. So I was like, "Oh, so we're kind of in the same boat right now." And he's like, "Yeah." So we started talking about music, started talking about life, and we became really good friends in just that couple of hours. And he asked me, "What you do?" And so I told him that I work in this situation. He's like, "Why don't you work with me? I have a construction company, and I need somebody to talk and you know, personal relationships with other people."
Okay, he knew what he was doing. He knew how to wheel you in. Why don't you come work for me?
Yeah. So I was like, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
You know? So we started working together while we were going to these musical things. Every week they had the mehfils going, and I'd go there. And I only knew him and a couple other people there. And so me being the bubbly jolly myself, I would go and joke around with everybody. And later on, he told me that you know, I liked you ever since you were married.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, she's really pretty, and she's really nice, and I wish I was married to somebody like her.
Wow.
So he's like, I used to have that feelings at that time, but then you were married, and I was married, and so I let it be. But that's how, you know, God's things work, and
that's how, what do you call it, kismat?
Yeah, karma. It came back to the place.
Yeah.
So he told me that I really, really like you, and do you think it could be more than friends? And I was like, well, let's see. You know, I thought he was just flirting with me at that time. I was like, you belong to a Sikh family. You are a Sikh and I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have this bug and dardi and I'm not into that. But we could be good friends though.
Okay, so you weren't into it at the beginning.
Yeah, no, not me.
Okay.
But yeah, so he says that too, that I fell in love with you way before you even knew it. So I was like,
so he fell in love with you while the both of you were married when he first saw you?
No, after I came back, but he liked me before.
Oh, okay.
But at the music mehfils that we used to go to, he's like, I fell in love with you.
Wow.
And I would get jealous when somebody else would look at you or talk to you or sit with you. And I remember him texting me while he was playing tabla, you know, get away from that guy.
That's so cute.
Can you get me chai, please?
Just to get you away from the other guy.
Just to get me away from that. So.
Aww.
Yeah, and then one day he comes and says, you know, I want to get married to you, and I was like, you're kidding. You're not
so
serious.
How long after you guys met did he finally say, like, I want to get married? Like, were you seeing each other for a while?
After his divorce was final, and he knew that you know, that chapter's closed in his life, he came to me and he said, well, that's over. So I need to, you know, have a partner in my life that I can spend the rest of my life with, and I think that's you. So I was like, okay. I was like, you're kidding. That, you know, what? You I can't be. And I was like, and I 100% had this in my heart that he's just flirting with me.
So you didn't think he was serious?
No. And then he's gonna have fun and go on his own. And I was like, well, if you're really serious, then I dare you to go ask my mom for my hand in marriage. That's how I said it. I was like, I dare you.
Okay, so you're Muslim, he's Sikh.
Yeah.
Did he have any, like, was he scared, nervous to go to your parents? Was he like...
I think he was, but he hates to admit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. So he went to my mom and he asked, you know, I really like your daughter and I want to marry her. Do you have any objections? And my mom said, well, I don't have any objection, but I know that her dad and everybody around her will have an objection. So it'd be better if you convert to Islam. And then there will be no problem. Which made him teary-eyed, and he's like, "Acha, really? That's what I gotta do?" And then he came to him. I was like, "So, how'd it go?" and he's like, "Well, this is what your mom said. That you know, this is how she put it." And I'm like, well, you're getting married to me, not to the world, not anybody else. So if I don't have a problem with it, I don't think anybody else would. And if you really, truly do want to marry me, I accept you with your religion. I accept you with your bug, with your dastar. I accept you with your beard. And I have no problem. So I will marry you. And he's like, really? I'm like, yep, it's fine.
So before we go further, do you think that he would have converted to Islam? If you had said to him...
I think he would have tried.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't.
Okay.
No, because he loves his religion like everybody else does.
Of course. Yeah.
And since he was a little child, he's been going to the Gurdwara and playing tabla there. And his whole family is very religious. So he's been in that environment. And if somebody came up to me and said, you know, you have to give up your religion to be... I wouldn't, right? I couldn't do it. So why should I expect it from somebody else?
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, no, I accept you the way you are, and that's fine. The only people that my life affects is the people who are actually connected with me are my kids.
Yeah.
And I have to ask my kids. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. And he actually came with me. We sat our kids down one by one and we said, you know, do you have any problems if we decide to get married? And all of them said, as long as you don't ask us to convert, as long as religion is not going to be something that's going to be brought to the table all the time, we have no problem.
So all 6 kids, his 2 and your 4? Or just your 4?
Just my 4. Okay. Because they had to live with us.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they had to deal with him being a Sikh and me being a Muslim because his kids live with his ex-wife.
Okay.
Yeah. But I met them as well. And very sweet kids. No problems at all. So my kids said, no, we have no problem because they knew him as well because we used to work together and they used to see him. So they're like, no, we have no problem as long as we're not asked to convert and, you know, religion never becomes part of a an argument in the household. And touch wood, it's been 5 years since we've been married, and never once religion has come between us.
You never thought about religion or
Never.
with the kids or anything
Nope.
like that?
Nothing.
And so do you still follow Islam and he follows his
I'm not a
religion,
very
or do
religious
you-
person.
Okay.
I'm not a religious person at all.
Okay.
My beliefs in religion is very different. Although I was born into a Muslim household, my parents are Muslim and they follow Islam like they should. My beliefs are very different.
Okay.
I don't believe that I need to go pray 5 times a day. I don't believe that I need to count on tasbih certain times to, be in touch with God. I don't believe that I need to bow my head down to talk to God. I don't believe I need to go to a mosque and, touch base with, hey God, what's going on? I believe I can be anywhere in the world and close my eyes and just think about him and have a direct connection with him. That's it. I don't believe in this, what you need to do in order to, talk. So I don't pray. I don't read namaz. I don't read tasbih. But whenever I do need to connect with God, I go, one-on-one, right? And I believe religion is all created by humans. So
and what about the children? Do they practice Islam? Or
no,
do
they've read Quran, they know namaz, they know all the kalmas, and I've given them the freedom of, you do what you want to do. I'm not going to force it on you. Because anything that's forced is not truly
it's not
you.
from the heart.
So they read namaz, they go to Eid namaz, they go sometimes to do Jummah prayer, and they have full freedom of doing what they think connects them with God. But my husband, on the other hand, he's very religious. He does his part, he goes to the Gurdwara every Sunday, he does Kirtan there, he follows his whole turban and beard, he has gurda and everything, which I respect him for, because he's really true with his religion, and he's never forced it on me that you should do this with me, right? And which again, how we got married, we didn't have nikah, because in order to have nikah he had to be Muslim.
Yeah. So you couldn't do nikah.
No. And then there was no point of me going to the Gurdwara and doing the lama, they say, and I didn't do that either.
Oh.
But we both went to the courthouse and we signed a piece of paper.
Court marriage.
Yeah, I looked at him and I said, I accept you as my husband from today, and and other things. And he looked at me, he's like, I accept you as my wife, and we're going to have the best life. Don't worry about anything. Leave the past in the past and let's move forward. And yeah, in front of God, we accepted each other as husband and wife, and we signed the piece of paper that I guess we need in order to be in front of everybody in the world. We need that piece of paper to say, yes, we are married.
Yeah.
And so we got that, and again, touch wood, 5 years, we've never had a fight about religion.
So how did your mother accepted him? Right. But what about the rest? Your dad and everyone else?
In the beginning, my mom had some problems because of my dad.
Oh,
my dad said, "Oh, you have to leave her now. She's dead for us." So my mom called me. She's like, "Well, this is how it is. We're done." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Right. And my sister and my brother were totally fine with it. They're like, it's your life. You've been through a lot. If this makes you happy,
I was going to say, you've been through so much with your first husband. I mean, he was, Muslim, and you practice Islam, and you've been through so much with that and your cancer, and like, it's time for you to be happy. So,
they said that if, it's time for you to look for happiness for yourself. So if you're happy, we're good with that. So they were awesome with it. And some of my friends ended up leaving me because of that. They're like, oh, you're not Muslim anymore because you married a non-Muslim. So we can't be friends with you because then we'll be a part of the sin that you're doing. So some of them ended up leaving me, which was fine. That's okay.
I don't understand how that works. I mean, okay, they're your friends, but what does friendship have to do with it? They're not living with you.
Yeah.
They're not married to your husband. They have nothing to do with your relationship. Why can't they just be your friend? I don't get that. Like, why would they have to leave you because of that?
Yeah, I guess they thought they were doing something bad just by supporting us or something. Yeah. So some of them ended up leaving me. My dad, obviously being the first one. But my mom one day called me and she said, I can't live without you. I can't live without my kids. So I'm fine with it. Come and give me a hug. I went 1 o'clock at night,
Aw.
and I gave her a hug. She was crying, bawling, and I was like, "Don't worry, Mom. I'm here. I'm not going to leave you. I know you can't leave me." You know. So she was okay with it. And then when my mom was on board with me, the rest of the world
Doesn't
didn't matter. It didn't matter.
As long as mom is there, huh?
Yeah. And then my husband's brother said, you know, I'm done with you. So it's been 5 years. They haven't spoken to each other. His sisters in the beginning kind of had a weird, rocky relationship. But once they came and met me and we got along and everything, so now they're perfectly fine. We love each other. I treat them like my own sisters, and they return the love.
It's so nice to hear that your life finally has a happy ending. You married your best friend. That's what you call fate. You know, they say that if you're meant to be with somebody, you'll eventually end up with them. And look at you guys are a prime example, right? Like you both separated from your spouses at the same time, and then you met at this level, and like and now you're just happy.
Me and my husband started the Music Society together 5 years ago, and through that we met such lovely people that actually are more than family to us. I've met you there.
Yeah.
I've met Bakr Bhai there, and many other wonderful people who became more than family. So we never really missed out on anything.
But that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm just glad that your life ended up with a happy ending.
Yes.
That's what I'm just happy about. But
Thank you.
I have actually some fun questions for you now.
Sure.
Okay, so answer truthfully all these questions.
I'll try.
Okay, if you could trade lives with somebody, who would it be? Anybody, who would it be?
Wow.
Nothing comes to mind right now? You could be happy with yourself. I mean, you want to be you know. That's fine.
No, I'm good with being.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
great
I'm
answer.
fine.
Great answer. What keeps you up at night?
My past.
Your past.
Yeah.
Yeah, still runs through the mind, right? Yeah, it's a
Every
hard
time
past
I try to go to sleep, my past won't let me.
What's the craziest dream you've ever had?
That I won a lottery.
I know, I think that's all our dreams right now is to win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
What is more romantic to you? A bouquet of roses or a box of chocolates?
Roses, definitely.
Roses?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like flowers too?
Yeah.
Me too. Would you rather give up your kids for a month or your husband? If you had the choice.
I'd give them both. I'd like that.
Double
month.
whammy. Just for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten revenge on anyone?
Oh yes, I'm very bad at that.
Oh, really?
I let them know what's what. Yeah.
Wow, strong. And I think all your life's, you know, it's made you a strong person.
Yeah,
the way
no,
you are
I
to
don't
even
take
do that.
I don't take things from anybody. I let them know that I didn't appreciate what they did.
So, you know, if you've done something, she will let you know.
Especially my husband right now. He'd vouch for that. Yeah. I don't let things go.
Okay. So he's like, okay. If you had the choice to be on a deserted island with Shah Rukh Khan or John Abraham, who would you choose?
John Abraham.
Yeah, my choice too.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you like better? Forehead kisses or long hugs?
Forehead kisses.
Me too. I like that too. What is the dumbest thing you've ever done?
A thing?
Wait a minute. Bring out your list.
One thing would be very hard to say. One thing, but I think my choice of moving to Pakistan was the dumbest thing I did.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you've done.
Yeah,
eh?
I put my kids through a lot, and I've been through a lot and all that just because of that decision of moving to Pakistan. That was the dumbest thing.
If you could change anything about yourself, what would it be?
What would I change about one thing about me? I'd probably change. I don't know what I would change. Maybe I'll lose some weight.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Shama, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for opening up to our viewers, sharing your life's journey with us, the bad and the good times. I'm just so happy that you're happy with your best friend and everything is like your dream come true right now.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for all your love and support. And if you'd like to be on the Honey Walia shows through the eyes of a woman, please contact us via Facebook or you can message us. Any comments or concerns or anything said by our guest today, Shama Bhatt, is strictly her own opinion. Just wanted to confirm that and let you all know. Thank you so much for watching our show. See you next time.